Welcome back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace and today is Tuesday, August 21st. This is a podcast about knitting and crafting and books and baking and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I like to do the most. Like always, all the links to the things that I will talk about will be in the show notes. If you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below, or if you are on my blog already, everything will be down below just for you to see and peruse. Also, there's all my various social medias that you can go and follow me on. There's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so if you'd like to go follow me over on there. I also work at a yarn store. It's called The Modern Skein. It is in Montgomery, Texas, so if you are in the area or visiting nearby, definitely come and say hello. That would be wonderful. There's also an online store, so you can go and check out our selection of yarns. They are quite wonderful, lots of fun options and very colorful, really, really amazing speckled hand-dyed things, and it's awesome. You should go and check it out, and all that stuff will be linked in the show notes as well. We have a little bit more relaxed episode today, and I say relaxed in that I am not done up as I normally am, and that's just because life happens, and sometimes you just need to not put on a full face of makeup, and sometimes you just need to put a bunch of dry shampoo in your hair, and sometimes you just need to wear a baggy shirt and leggings to go get the groceries, and those days are good. You need them sometimes, and it's really okay to have them because that's just the way that life works. I also have a little bit of story time because I cast something new on, and because something happened last week, but I will tell you about that in just a moment. So I think that's everything that I have to say. Let me grab my cup. So, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, I currently have my Earl Grey from Tivana, the Earl Grey cream. So good. Guys, I had it last week and I could not be quiet about how amazing it was. There was a lot of it that I edited out that you didn't see. It's really good. I highly recommend it. If you have access to it or whatever, I would highly, highly recommend it. I don't remember if I put it in the show notes last week. If I didn't, I do apologize. I will try and remember to put it in this week. If not, go look up Tivana's Earl Grey cream tea, and it's got flavors or hints of lavender and vanilla, and oh my goodness, this is like so good. So good. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. If you would like to go grab something tasty to drink, whether it be tea or something to snack upon or something to craft on, while I tell you what I have been up to this week, and you can come back and join me for some crafty chat. Oh, so good. So, this week, I have a lot of knitting to show you, which is really good. I'm just really loving having so much knitting to show you guys. It really just makes life very easy. So I have a finished object, which is super exciting. I cannot wait to wear this out and about when it gets cooler. I also have some knitting to show you, things that have been on the needles for a while, and then also a new cast on. And you may be wondering, why do you have a new cast on? You have so many things cast on. You also have the store sample that needs to be worked on. You have a test knit. You have lots of things that needs to be worked on. Why did you cast something on? This is kind of a Debbie Downer of a story, so I do apologize for being a little bit not as happy about this, but last week so I recorded, and later that evening we were out looking at potentially new cell phones, and on our way home we were in a relatively scary car accident. Thankfully everyone was fine, everyone who was involved was fine, we were not at fault. Someone pulled out into the lane and just kind of hit the side of my car. Unfortunately, it was my car that we were driving because we were gonna go like fill up the tires or something like that, so my husband was driving, which was really nice. I am so thankful that he was driving and not me. Unfortunately, that means that I was on the side that it was hit, and so that was relatively not relatively, it was very scary. And so that was pretty traumatic. I know it's not the scariest thing in the world, but that was very terrifying. So my car is currently being worked on. I have a rental car, so that's good. Life has proceeded on as normal. We were sore, or I was sore for about a week. Stopped doing things like working out just because don't want to injure myself and all that jazz. And so I needed to cast something on because I was just a little shaken, and I needed a little bit of happy comfort knitting, and so I cast on something new, which I'm going to show you later in this episode. But like I said, everyone is fine besides just being shaken and being sore. God definitely protected us when that happened. And yes, times like that, I am very grateful that my husband is as cool and calm and collected as he is, because that I am the freak out person. I will definitely freak out, and thankfully he was there to calm me down and then calmly do what needed to be taken care of. And so I am very, very grateful for him, and yeah, just God's protection over us and all that kind of stuff. So, long story short, we were in an accident. We're fine. God is good. I love my husband. I have a rental and I cast something on because of that. So, let's get into the knitting. Since we've had a serious discussion, let's get into some more happy, uplifting things and show you my finished object that I have. So I am so happy with how this turned out. I knew it would be cute, but I didn't think it would be this cute. And I don't say that to toot my own horn, my knitting abilities, but I think I did a pretty good job on this. This is the Cardamom Coffee Hat, and it's by Caitlin Hunter. I love this so much. I taught this, I'll put this on. Might mess up my hair, but that's okay. It's just too cute. How can you not wear it? So I taught this as a class at the Modern Skein a couple weeks ago, and I was teaching colorwork, and I was also teaching knitting in the round. So that's very exciting. This was the project that we were working on, which is really great. I apologize for my squish face. Oh, hello! Where have you been all day? The cat has just walked into the room and he's been hiding all morning. Good morning, how are you? Are you a little sleeping beauty? Hi, what you want? Hello? You need some attention? He's not usually this, like, needy when I'm recording. Hello? Hi! Do you need some love? Here, look, can I pick you up? Can I pick you up? Oh, no. Ah! Oh, hi, baby. Oh, yosh, oh, yosh, oh, yosh. She's such a good little boy. Everyone, if you are new to the podcast, this is my cat. His name is Bertie Wooster. He's named after a P.G. Woodhouse character. Bertie Wooster, Bertram Wilberforce Wooster, and he is just so cute. He is 13 or 14 years old, I think, and so I've had him for a very long time, and he's just the sweetest, and I love him so much. He looks very happy. Are you very needy and you need attention? Do you want to be in the podcast? You want to talk about my hat? Do you like my hat? Oh, yosh, oh, yosh. I don't know if you can hear him, but he's like snorting and snuffling and being so sweet. Okay, I'm ready to be put down. Are you ready to be put down? No, not quite. He really likes rubbing on my glasses. Anyway, so going back to my hat, while Bertie is here. Okay, now he wants to talk. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. I'm might just keep this on. It's pretty cute. So it was a class thing. I then finished mine within like 3 days or something. It was such a fast knit. I loved it. I feel like usually with fingering weight hats, sometimes it can be like, oh, that's it on a size 3, it's gonna take forever. But with color work, it's just, it goes so quickly because it's like, I want to see what the pattern does next, and I just want to see how it turns out, and before you know it, you're doing the decreases and you're done. So, hi, what are you doing? He's acting very strangely, I don't know why. I apologize for being distracted. But anyway, so I finished this very attractive hat here, and then I sewed on my pom-pom, which is actually really wonderful because, bleh, it's a snap. So for whatever reason, if I needed to wash this, bye. See ya. If I needed to wash this, I could pop this off and then hand wash it like you normally would. So that's really cool. I really like that. Because, I mean, you never know. Sometimes hats get sweaty and sometimes you want to wash them, and now my hair is a mess, and let's just kind of fix that a little bit. I want to make so many more of these. They're so cute. It was so much fun to make. It was such an easy colorwork hat. I think if you have never done colorwork, this is a really good pattern to start with. It's a really good way to learn, having taught that this as a beginning colorwork hat. My yarns that I used, you may be wondering, here, let's hold them up. I know it's kind of hard to see, so there's a little extra pop of color in between, and it's kind of, you can see it more when you hold it back, but sometimes when you hold it up close it blends a little bit more. But there's, you can see it really well right there, the extra third color. So my yarns are from Kimmery's, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Kimmery's Knit Knacks. And I have a little tag. These are all minis, by the way. My mom and I got this yarn at the Houston Fiber Festival back in July. Back in July? Was it in July? No, it was in June. Back in June, I think. So that's very exciting. These are her minis. I believe she is local to Houston. She lives in Kingwood, which is very exciting. She was there, I believe, and so she was very, very sweet. Really enjoyed getting to meet her. My base color, my brown, is this color, which is called Espresso Bean. My second main color was this, called Blushing. And it's very blown out, but let me grab this one that fell on the floor. Ooh. And this third one is called Chocolate Covered Strawberries. And so we got two of the main colors, so we had two of the brown. This is what I have left over, the second one. We got one of the Blushing and then one of the Chocolate Covered Strawberries. So it is a super good stash hat. If you want to use stuff from your stash, it would work so well. I'm not sure how the yardage divides out off the top of my head, but you can look on the Ravelry page because it'll break it down for you how much you need of each color, but it's not a lot. And I'm really excited to use these things and other things, so I'm super a huge fan of her yarns, and I hope to knit with them again. I would definitely get her minis again for another one of these hats. So yeah, this is a Cardamom Coffee hat by Caitlin Hunter. As much as I love this hat, it's probably too warm long term to keep this on, so I probably won't wear it. So sad. Oh well. Still need to take nice pictures with it though, so that's exciting. Okay, now what to talk about. So many things. Okie dokie. So I'm currently working on a test knit. It is called Corbel, or Corbel, C-O-R-B-E-L, B-E-L. It is by Flossie Knits, or Claire is her name, but Flossie Knits is her Instagram username and her Ravelry username as well. This is a cabled pullover, and I'm trying to figure out, there we go, okay. I was having a hard time figuring out the wrong side and the right side for whatever reason. So this is what I have so far. I have made a lot of progress. And I still have a couple more inches left to go on the back, and then I will start the shoulder shaping and such, and then I will cast on the front. I will also probably cast on the sleeves as well, so I can work on those. I also need to order more yarn for this sometime soon, because I needed to, I was a couple skeins short, I think, when I found out that I could use my stash, which is not a big deal. If they happen to be the different dye lots, if it's very obvious, I'll stripe it in with the sleeves, hopefully. I do need to figure out how much exactly I need to order, because I'm not sure of that yet. So just stuff in the future. This is a pullover. It's cabled on the front and the back, and that, it's very hard. I don't know. Can you, like, you can see the cables, but can you see what the cables are doing? I don't know. I look at it on the, that's a little better. It's just hard because it's blown out. But, so it's cabled on the front and the back. The sleeves are in reverse stockinette stitch, which means that the pearls are on the outside. Super cute. It is seamed. I am really loving working on this. It's very easy to do. I'm loving working with this yarn. It's fallen on the ground again, so one moment. This is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Sport in the current colorway. It's a very beautiful maroon, and it's being blown out. It's more accurate back here. It's very like a, it almost has like brown red undertones, the maroon burgundy color. I don't know. I really love it. I think it will look good on me as a sweater. I'm really loving this. I know that this yarn gets softer as you work with it and when you block it, so I'm very excited about that. I'm also just really looking forward to the time when the weather gets cooler, so we can actually wear stuff like this a little bit. This might be a little heavy, but I really wanted to make it, so what do? You save these things for when you go traveling, like to Oklahoma or other really cold places in the winter or in the fall. So I'm very excited about this. I think it'll be very cozy and very like classy and very just super fun to wear. I almost jabbed my eye with my knitting needles, but that's okay. So, Corbel by Flossie Knits out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Sport in the current colorway. I'm showing the wrong side. This is the right side. And hopefully I will continue to make lots of good progress on this. The deadline is definitely coming up, and I need to make more progress. I need to more speedily knit on this. But you know, things happen. You get in car accidents and you need to cast on some fun stuff. So it's back to the grind on this one. Although on Thursday or Friday I knit on this most of the entire day that I was at work, and I was there for the whole day. So I think that's where most of this progress has come from. So if I just keep on doing that, and I need to order the yarn for sure. So that's exciting. Fun times. So another fun project that I'm working on, I mentioned just a minute ago that I had or earlier at the top of the podcast that I am working on a store sample. Which actually one of the test knits that I did before the Caitlin sweater is currently store sample, so you can go and see that if you're at the Modern Skein or you're nearby. You can go and see it in person. It's there. And the cardamom coffee hat will also be there eventually after I take pictures. So if you want to see those in person, you can go and see them there. They will be on show. But I am also working on my chrysalis shawl by Lavanya Patricella, I believe. And oh my goodness, it is using melted, or the Ching Baby Surrey, and I'm using Ching sock. And the sock is in the panda colorway, and then for the Baby Surrey I'm using the rosemary colorway, and then I'm also fading in the Shibuya colorway, which I've just now started to do that, so you can see the like those pops of yellow, and the down there it's just the minty green, but up here it's a little bit more colorful that I've started to fade in. My skeins are all kind of tangled up. This is a big tangled mess right now. All the skeins are in the bottom of this bag. So I would rather not take them all out to show you. So I'm going to kind of do that. Look, there they are. They're all kind of messed up. This was my knitting to church bag, and so it was just very easy to pull everything out and knit from the yarn that's in the bag. The yarn might probably stay in the bottom of this bag until I'm done with this shawl, because it's just in there and the yarns are only slightly tangled, and I don't know. It's kind of a mess. But anyway, and it's just because I'm fading. I have 3 yarns attached. If I only had 2, it wouldn't be that big a deal. But I have 3, so let's show you. Okay, so here the minty color is the rosemary in the Melted Baby Surrey. Here the contrasting black and colorful stripes, those are panda. And then up here you can see there are rows of Shibuya. So this is the one side, and then you flip it over and here's the other side with the brioche. And we figured out that this is the right side. The fuzzy brioche side is the right side. I'm really loving it. It's super fun. It's a very like intuitive pattern, I guess. There's these sections are basically just repeated, and you add repeats and all that kind of stuff. So it's very easy to memorize. It feels very nice to check things off. It's written row by row with repeats, and so yeah, it just feels good to check things off that you've done that many repeats, or you've done those 4 rows or whatever. Of course the rows are getting longer, so it does take more time, but that is the way with shawls. I'm really enjoying this. This is super fun. The Baby Surrey is 65% Baby Surrey, and then a certain percent merino and a certain percent silk. I forget what is which, or how much of silk and how much of merino, I should say. So, whoa, excuse me. So I'm really loving this. I think it's a lot of fun. This is going to be in the store as well, which is very exciting. Also, there's just something very satisfying about doing these brioche increases. I don't know how well I can show this to you, but it just creates such a nice line. There we go. See, look how nice this line is right there. So nice. Look at those colors, they're so pretty. So pretty, so pretty. I love this. And I'm very excited to be working on this for a store sample. Sharon, the owner of the Modern Skein, she's working on one as well, but she is using Smoke as her fuzzy Baby Surrey, and that's more of like a purpley, gray-y color, and her contrasting color is called Annie, I think, from Ching Fibers, and it's like a beautiful rust color. So hers is very drastic, or it's not drastic, it's drastically different than mine, I should say. Hers is gorgeous, and it's really fun to see how different the shawls look using different colors. Same pattern, same everything. It's just they look different because the different colors are chosen. So that's super cool, and I'm glad that we'll be able to have 2 shawls showing off what you can do with the baby suri. The modern skein does not currently carry baby suri, but we will be getting it in November or December. So if you are interested in that, if you're not near the area, you can check out our website when that does come, or if you are in the area, you should definitely stop by. That way you can feel it and you can enjoy the squishiness and the butteriness of this yarn, because it's so nice. It's so nice. So my new cast on, my sad cast on, I cast this on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, I think. This is my sorbet cardigan. I am so excited about this. If you are new to the podcast, I talked about this a while ago, that my mom and I had been wanting to make this cardigan for a long time. It is 2 strands of mohair held together through the whole thing. It's striped. It's super simple. It's so cute looking, and I have a black and white picture, and I don't know how well it's going to show up, but this will give you the general idea of what it is. This is a sorbet cardigan, and I don't know exactly how to pronounce this name, but I'm going to do my best. For the designer, it's Milfried Knitwear. Don't know if that's right, but I'm not going to show you what it is, so you can, there it is, Milfried Knitwear, right there. So that's very exciting. I highly recommend her Instagram. She has so many pretty pictures. I love them all. This pattern is so easy. It's just a raglan, basically, with some extra little fun bits thrown in there. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. There's what it looks like. Let me get out what I'm actually working on. So I did my ribbing at the top. It's top down. Then I joined my second color. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's so soft. So this is top down. There we go. This is what I have so far. It's so pretty. And this brown color is more of like almost a purpley brown gray, a grayish, purpley grayish. This is like a white cream. And then, whoopies, ugh, why do things keep falling off my lap? It's so unfortunate. So next, I will use this mustardy color, mustardy gold. And then, just make things more complicated and bring another bag onto my lap. And then we'll use this pink color. Should really just hold one of each. And then I will have the purple. So it's a very bad view of what the colors are going to be, and I'm getting ready to lose one of these. Ah! Okay. Just put one of those in there. There we go. Those are what my colors are going to be. My mom is doing the exact same, except her purple is a teal instead, which I think will be gorgeous, but I really just love the purple. Purple is my favorite color of all time, besides maroon. But I guess that gets kind of in the purple and reddy family. I don't know. Anyway, so this is a sorbet cardigan. I'm loving it. It's just very, very soothing and just kind of like, oh, it's okay. Just knit with some really soft yarn and everything will be fine. This feels like so soft. Oh my goodness. Yes. My mom and I have laughed about how it feels like we're knitting with fairy hair because it's so fuzzy, it's so lightweight, it's so soft, and it's just so very luxurious. And yeah, it just looks so pretty. It's such like a nice, soothing, soft color. I just love how mohair makes things look so soft. I know it doesn't it's hard to tell on camera, but in person it just really, it blurs everything in such a nice way. Like, you can still see the structure there, you can see the increases in how it's like, how it's made, and like the bones of the sweater. But with the mohair, it really just kind of blurs everything nicely. So it looks really just soft and lightweight and gorgeous. So I'm really, really excited about this. It is definitely my comfort knitting, for sure. And it was definitely needed. I really needed to cast something on, and the sorbet cardigan was just the perfect thing to do that, so I'm really glad I had that. Also, in other news, if you are new to the podcast, even before the sorbet cardigan, I talked about how I was going to be making a wall hanging for above our bed in our apartment, of hanging tassels off of a dowel rod and then hanging the dowel rod in some way. I have the yarn color palette that I wanted to use. I planned it out. I used a lot of my stash, and thankfully I was able to pull from Knit Picks in particular to get some colors to fill in those gaps and stuff that I wanted extra color. It's very neutral. It's very just kind of like light dusty mauve-y, and then a little bit of like light purple, gray purple. It is beautiful, and I think it will look really, really pretty in our bedroom over our bed. The only thing holding me back was the lack of the dowel rod, which is kind of important because that's like the foundation. You make things and you attach them to the dowel rod. But this past weekend we made it to Home Depot and we got a dowel rod. We had measured the size of the dowel rod that we wanted. Thankfully, I mean, I didn't think that the dowel rod would be expensive, but I think it was like less, maybe $1.50 or something like that. And then there was a little bit of extra, so we cut it there at the store, and I have like maybe that much left extra to hopefully make a smaller one to hang somewhere in the apartment, which I think would be super fun, and I'm really excited about that because it just gives me another opportunity to be creative and see what I can make to make a cool wall hanging. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have no idea what I'm going to do with the smaller one, but the dowel rod is just sitting over here, but it's just a regular dowel rod, so I'll show you more of it when I actually get started on it, and I'll probably, instead of bringing it in here and showing it to you this way, I'll probably just take extra footage of it, like laying on the floor or the bed or the wall if it's hung. So that's super exciting. I hope to get started on that soon. But the test knit obviously takes priority. So we'll see when that starts. Hopefully it will be very soon because now I have nothing holding me back and now I can just get going, and I'm very excited about it. So yay for future wall hangings. Last week I talked about how life happens and sometimes you don't have time to start books, and then life really happened and stuff just got in the way, but then I was able to actually start the book that I wanted to start, which is A Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz. I'm really excited about it. I am not like super far into it, but I'm definitely a good chunk of pages in, chapters in, whatever. I am definitely into the book and I am really excited about it. I really like the descriptions in the book. I think Anthony Horowitz does a really good job of character development and then describing things in a way that makes you feel like you're there. Obviously when you read something, it's really fun to read a description or whatever and then kind of fill in the gaps with your own imagination. But it's also really fun when authors like give you extra information that's not at all relevant and just kind of like, oh, well, I had no idea that that was actually there, and just an interesting bit of information that it happened to be. It just kind of helps, I don't know. It's really fun being someone who, I don't know, what am I trying to say? I'm thinking things and my mind is not accurately describing them. As someone who loves to people watch and kind of just observes random things and just very odd things that people wouldn't usually notice. I really enjoy that because I feel like it would be the type of thing that I would notice, and so I like to know that kind of stuff. And though I enjoy filling that in with my own imagination, it is really fun to be given that and be able to take that and use it in with your imagination even more. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel about it. Books just in general, if they have really good descriptions, I love that. That just takes the book to a whole other level for me. I don't know, that's totally personal preference. That's just how I feel about good descriptions. Some people find them too wordy, and that's totally understandable because there are a lot of words. But I really enjoy them. I think it makes the story more a richer experience for me, I guess. So I really like that about this book. There is some swearing in this book, so if you are not into that, I would warn you of that. There's not a whole lot, but there is definitely some. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. I have no idea who did it, which is always a good thing because I try and figure out who's done it very shortly into starting a mystery. And I haven't done that yet, so I haven't figured out who it is. And that's all really good, and I'm just rambling at this point. So as of right now, I still would highly recommend the Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz, and also his first book, Magpie Murders. And he's written other books that I haven't read, but I really, really enjoyed Magpie Murders. It was amazing. So I don't think either one of them are like necessarily connected to each other. I haven't seen any like similarities in the characters necessarily, but it might be easier for you to get a hold of Magpie Murders because it is an older publication. The Word is Murder just came out recently. So if you're into paperbacks and not hardbacks, I don't know. I don't really know if I can actually speak on that, but that is just the way that I would think it would happen or work or whatever, so I don't know. I recommend both the books. If you have the chance, I would read both of them. He is a wonderful author, so yay for book recommendations. I did not do baking last week just because things were really kind of crazy and we were all recovering and all that kind of stuff, and rentals, trying to figure out rentals was a thing. So no baking last week, but I am going to be baking after I record this some peanut butter oatmeal peanut butter chocolate chip bars, cookie bars. It's a combination of those words in some form of order, and it's basically an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie bar thing with a peanut butter glaze on top, or icing, and oh my goodness, I think there's peanut butter also in the dough itself, so lots of peanut butter all around, lots of chocolate, lots of oatmeal. I am very excited. So yes, I will definitely link that in the show notes as well. I haven't made them yet, but the butter is softening currently, so they will be made soon. And I think that is all that I have for you guys this week. So thank you so much for sticking with me. If you have enjoyed this episode, give this episode a like. That would be wonderful. If you are new to the podcast, thank you so much for checking me out. I know there's a lot of new subscribers, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you're a returning viewer, again, thank you very much for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Like always, all the links to the things that I have talked about will be in the show notes. If you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below in the down bar, or if you are on my blog, everything will be down below as well. Also, everywhere, links to all my various social medias will be linked everywhere. There's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram. I also work at a yarn store, and all the information to this yarn store, whether it's the Instagram or the website or the yarn shop's store, online store, that will be linked in the show notes as well. So if you want to go check those out, that would be wonderful. I I think that is everything. I hope you've had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. I have lots of crafty plans coming up. I have obviously a test knit to work on. I have lots of just fun things in general. I am very, very much enjoying my knitting right now. I'm not in like a slump or anything. I'm enjoying all the projects that I'm working on, which is really great because I feel like in the past several weeks I've been kind of, sometimes I haven't been as excited about my projects as I should be. I feel like I should be. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited to be very just like inspired by all the things that I'm working on right now. So that's a good place to be knitting wise and crafting wise. I'm also really excited about the books that I have planned to read in the near future. The book I'm currently reading, books I'm listening to, all that jazz. I'm just very excited about experiencing more stories and just learning more about everything. Because I just really love reading. It's just so much fun, and I'm really glad that I have the ability to knit and read at the same time. If you haven't done that, and if you feel confident enough in your knitting, and if you're just plain knitting, I really recommend giving it a try. I know it sounds very just kind of overwhelming because you're doing two different things at once, and sometimes that gets a little tricky, and it's not easy at the beginning, and I definitely went through the rough phase of just kind of like not really reading and trying to not really knit, or not really knitting, or not really knit. What am I trying to say? I was not doing either, really. I would just like read a few lines, and then I would knit a little bit, and then I would read a few lines and knit a little bit, and couldn't get them going at the same time. But then I just kept on working on it, and something clicked, and I just kept on working at it. I really, if you want to start working on being able to knit and read at the same time, work on not like really not looking at your knitting. Like really, really like focus on the feel of it and just being able to feel that you're doing it correctly, so you don't have to stop and look and then continue reading. Because I mean, it's okay if you do that, because I do that all the time. But if you are reading something and you're just really into it and you really don't want to stop, then that way you're able to keep on knitting without having to look at what you're doing. And yes, that is to say, I can't cable and read at the same time. I can't do lace at the same time and read. It's just plain old. Sometimes I can do ribbing and I feel like I did really well with the words for the whole episode, and at the end it's just kind of falling apart. I can do ribbing and read at the same time, but pretty much anything above that I can't really do. So there's that. Also, if you have the ability to read either on a iPad or a Kindle or your phone or your computer, that's super helpful, because then you don't have to worry about pages flipping or just like keeping a book propped up. It is possible. It is very possible, but then you do have to stop knitting to turn the page, and depending on your reading speed, that can go pretty quickly, and then you break up your knitting time a lot, and I don't know. There's just a lot of variables. I have tried to figure it out over the years, and I think I've figured out what works best for me and my knitting and reading style. So I'm very happy that I can do that, and if you want to try figuring it out, I would really recommend doing it, because it's super fun. And I feel like because knitting helps me like pay attention and like remember what I've done or what I've listened to, that it helps me remember what I've read as well. So I really like that, because I feel like I'm getting more out of the stories that I read and the books that I read while I knit. I don't know, that might just be a me thing. Actually it is a me thing, because that's how I function. But that might be the way that you function too. If you knit and read at the same time, maybe you'll be able to remember things more that you read. And I always think that's nice, because then you get more out of the stories and blah blah blah. Talking in circles at this point. So yes, if you feel like you were up to the challenge, I would challenge you to learn how to knit and read at the same time, because it is truly wonderful, and I would recommend it to anybody who wants to try. Well, that was an unexpected tangent that I was not expecting to talk about. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little random rant at the very end. But I think that is all that I have. I talked about my knitting, the book, the baking, the accident, all that jazz. So yes, I think that is everything that I have for you guys this week, and I guess I'll see you guys next week. Bye!